Fire it up. Let's go. Come on. What you got, baby?
You decided on a quarterback.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
Okay, what went into that decision?
Listen, when we brought in Gardner, we expected, obviously, the play that we had seen in the past. And, at some point, you got to give a guy confidence. And there's been times, obviously, with turnovers and other things that have taken place where we made decisions to, either put him on the bench or go to another quarterback. But this week, I felt like, Gardner gives us the best opportunity to move forward. And he has every opportunity to go out there and help us get to a win.
How do you give him confidence? How do you give Gardner confidence at this point?
Everybody around him. Starts with the staff, starts with myself, starts with belief, letting him know, man, go out there and let it go. Let it loose. And what we got to lose at this point, right? 2-7. So everything that's behind us is behind us, and I'm looking forward to everything in front of me.
You made some changes to the offensive staff. Scott Turner is the offensive coordinator, bringing in Norv, Joe Philbin, the offensive line coach. From the Turner's perspective, what changes can we expect to see? Are they going to be dramatic, subtle?
I think we're all waiting to see that. We're going to see it out here in practice today. Obviously, I'm not going to make no promises, but just wanted to change, wanted to spark, wanted the different ideas. Bringing in Norv as somebody's been from the outside. Obviously, he's been watching our games. A lot of respect for Norv. He coached against me as a player. As I got into coaching, watching him from afar, and then obviously being with Scott the last couple of years. So getting some more ideas, some outside ideas, different perspectives, game planning, how to attack the weakest link, how to get our players in the best position to be successful. That's what I'm looking forward to.
AB, you made that decision fairly quickly after the game. How much did it help you in terms of your game planning to make that so quickly?
Huge. Yeah, huge. I wanted to get it over with. Once I made my decision, we was going to move on, get those two gentlemen in place, get everything that we need to do from HR standpoint and paperwork, and get them in the building and start working during our bye week. They give ourselves 10 days before, like we are today, to get ready for the Dolphins.
How do you feel like the bye week went for the coaching staff and even the players that were away?
Good. Needed it, man. I needed to take a good cold shower, cold bath, wash all that badness off that had took place over the 9 games. And I think our staff did the same. I know our players did, but they were still around the building, which is the best thing about it, right? People might question our locker room, might question our culture, might question me, but you can't question our commitment. So we're committed to this bad boy and turning it around. So when they got in here Tuesday, that's what I felt. That's what they felt for me, and hopefully you feel it right now.
Coach, thoughts on getting Michael Mayer back in practice and potentially playing going forward?
Excited, man. It was good to see Big Mike back, man. He looked good, had a little tan, so I don't know where he was at, but he was hanging out, so somewhere good. But he looked good, man. He was in shape. He stayed out here this entire bye week working out, getting himself back into football shape and around the team, around the building. And then obviously when we got together yesterday, man, everybody was excited. You heard a lot of knocking, but then it's just business as usual. That's what Mike's about, business.
Tim, do you expect it to be sort of a ramping up period? I thought you have that 3-week practice window before he officially has to come back. Do you think you might have to take some time to get ready?
Good thing we had a bye week. That's a good ramp-up period there, too.
And on another note, you mentioned Scott Turner, but you also promoted Joe Philbin to, interim offensive line coach. What do you expect from him? And then also, who's handling the
fundamentals and technique, man. That's what I was looking for with our O-line, right? Pad level, eyes down, striking, physicality up front, getting off the rock, hand placement, where it's supposed to be. Joe Philbin's been around this game a long time, coached some really good offensive lines, been around some good offenses as well. And obviously, you got a gentleman who's been a head coach. We talked about that prior. He's been an offensive coordinator. And his forte is O-line play. And, the one thing we talked about was just purely how we look off the offensive line. What does it look like physically from a technique standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. So I'm excited to see what these guys do today in practice going forward.
have you decided who's taking over the quarterback room from a coaching standpoint?
Scott will be there.
Mm-hmm. As far as the offense, at this point of the season, is it possible to make big changes or have to be more like tinkering and small changes?
No, I think we should change how it looks, how it sounds, the outcome, the operation, the bottom line, being efficient in the run game, right? Taking care of the football, having opportunities in the red zone, scoring, all those things that were flaws for us in the first 9. That's where we want to see improvement. The key word for us going forward, especially this week, is improvement. And it's not going to be all in 1 week. So I'm not going to fix all those things. I doubt we can do that in 1 week. But there are certain things that we've talked about as a staff and as a team that we need to fix this week, especially.
Jackson Powers-Johnson played well at center. Is that moving forward? Do you feel like that's where you're going to stick with him at center?
He'll be at center this week.
Coach, what's the collaboration like with Scott on changing the look of the offense? Is it you just let him do his thing, or do you have a couple of key points you make to him that you want to see, executed or changed, or how's that go?
I think with all our coordinators, I tell them exactly how I wanted to look, and they obviously come up with the game plan. But there are certain things that has to change. Our ability to run the football has to change. We have to run the football. We're one of the worst teams in football, if not the worst football running team in football. So that has to change. And I can talk about third down efficiency down in the red zone when we have opportunities, either by our special teams or defense, to put the ball in the end zone. We want to see those things happen. So those are things that we worked on throughout the bye week and we'll work on this week for Miami.
AP, I know the teams are different from last year, but obviously you guys did play the Dolphins last year. Are there anything that you can take from that game last year to help you this year?
Yeah, I think filling their speed, because that's real. Those dudes are fast, man. 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. I don't think anybody's in the 4.5s. I think that's illegal for their scouting department. But it's real. I think for us to fill that with 10, with 17, 28 didn't play in that game as much. I believe in 31. So just, getting those guys going, understanding the tempo and the speed, the efficiency that Tua plays at, I think that was really good. And that's good film for us to go back and now watch as we look at the other 4 games this year as well.
Your line got banged up in the last game. Where do they stand from a health standpoint?
Bye week helped. The bye week helped. I'll just say that. The bye week helped. We're getting there. We're getting there. And the good part about it, guys don't want to be in the training room. We got that kind of team where guys don't want to be in the training room. They want to be on the grass.
Is Colton going to be able to practice, and also Andre James?
Yeah, Colton will be limited, and Andre will be out today.
That's good.
All right, good. Bring that juice.
Thank you.